Do you ever feel like you're doing everything right? Posting, tweaking your offer, trying new strategies, but still not getting clients? Most people think it's their strategy, or the algorithm, or that they just need to post more. But after spending the last decade helping over 1,500 agencies, coaches, and service businesses grow, I can tell you, it's almost never that. I've seen businesses with worse offers, worse content, and smaller audiences attract clients effortlessly, while others grind for months and still get nowhere. And the difference comes down to a pattern I call the clarity code. That's why in this video, I'm going to show you what the clarity code is, why most businesses unknowingly violate it, and how to fix it so getting clients actually starts to feel simple, predictable, even easy. Let me explain what I mean. Most people who are struggling to get clients believe they have a marketing problem. Whether you're running an agency, coaching business owners, doing consulting, or offering any kind of service, the instinct is always the same. You think you need a better funnel, or better ad strategy, or more followers, or a different niche. So you go looking for the next tactic, the next hack, the next tool that promises it's finally going to fix everything. But that search never ends, because tactics aren't the problem. Let's be honest for a second. You probably already know more than enough to get clients. You've watched the videos, you've taken the courses, you've consumed more marketing advice than most people will in a lifetime. And yet, the clients still aren't showing up consistently. This means you don't have a knowledge problem. You actually know more than enough already. What's missing is clarity. You see, there are really only 3 things a potential client needs to understand before they'll hire you. Just 3. And when all 3 are crystal clear, getting clients stops being this massive uphill battle and starts feeling almost automatic. But when even one of those 3 things is even just a little bit fuzzy or unclear, everything breaks down. And the worst part is, you won't know which one is the problem. You'll just feel like, marketing doesn't work for me. So let me walk you through each one of these 3 things now, starting with the who, which is, who exactly do you help? Now, I know you've heard this before. Pick a niche, and your eyes probably just rolled into the back of your head. But stay with me, because this isn't the generic advice that you've been given 1,000 times before. Most people answer this question just way too broadly, saying things like, I help businesses grow, or I work with entrepreneurs, or I'm a marketing consultant. But all of that is what I call marketing camouflage, because it makes it impossible for a client to differentiate you from pretty much anyone else out there. And when you blend in like that, you just get ignored. Here's what I mean. Imagine for a second you're at a dinner party and someone asks what you do. If you say, I run a marketing agency, you'll get a polite nod and the conversation moves on. Nobody's going to remember that tomorrow. Nobody's going to tell their friend about you or this amazing marketing agency owner that they met at a party. But if you say something more specific, say something like, I help local service businesses get booked out 3 months in advance without running ads, well, something completely different happens because you've now painted a clear picture in their head. So their brain immediately goes to someone they know. So they say something like, oh, my friend runs a plumbing company and he's always complaining about leads. You should talk to him. That's what clarity does. It makes you referable, and referability is one of the most underrated client acquisition tools there is. So here's what I want you to build right now. I call this the clear offer formula, and it goes like this. I help X with Y so they can Z without W. So X is your specific market. Y is the problem you solve. Z is the outcome they actually want, and W is the thing they hate doing or want to avoid. Let me give you a couple examples here though to really help drive this home. Here's what this might look like if you're running an agency. I help chiropractors get 20 new patients a month so they can fill their schedule without spending more hours on social media. Or if you're a business coach, it might look something like this. I help online coaches package their expertise so they can sell premium programs without doing free discovery calls all day. The key to finding your unique angle is just to fill in those 4 blank letters, X, Y, Z, and W. And I mean actually fill them in, like write it down, say it out loud, whatever you need to do. Because this sentence is what makes you referable instead of forgettable. And if you're not sure how to narrow down your market, just ask yourself this. Who have I already helped get a result? Well, that's your who for now. Just start there, don't overthink it. So now they know who you're for. But that's not enough, because even if someone hears your who and thinks, hey, that's me, they still won't hire you until they really feel the problem. So that brings us to the second piece, the what. What problem do you actually solve? And this is where things get interesting, because most people describe their services instead of describing the problem they solve. But those are 2 very, very different things. Here's what I mean. If you run an agency, you might say, I build funnels and run Facebook ads. Or if you're a consultant, it might be, I help with business strategy and operations. So that's what you do. But the problem is the business owner sitting across from you doesn't wake up in the morning thinking, I really need someone to build me a funnel. They wake up thinking, why am I not getting any leads? I'm posting content, I'm doing all the things, and the phone still isn't ringing. That is the problem. The still not getting any leads despite feeling like they're doing everything right. And your service is the solution to it. But they don't care about your solution yet. They care about the pain that problem is creating. And here's the psychology behind why this matters so much. Imagine I hand you $100. Feels pretty good, right? Well, now imagine that you already have $100, but you're about to lose it. Completely different feeling, way more intense. Dr. Daniel Kahneman's research showed that people feel losses roughly twice as intensely as equivalent gains. That is loss aversion, and it's running in the background of every buying decision your potential clients are making. So when you describe the problem you solve, you're speaking to a much stronger motivational drive than when you describe the service that you offer. This isn't about being negative or being fear-based. This is about being specific about the pain that you eliminate. So here's a quick exercise. Take whatever you normally say about your business and rewrite it leading with the problem instead of the service. It sounds a bit confusing though, so let me give you an example. Instead of saying, I build funnels and run ads, try, I help gym owners who are wasting money on ads that don't convert, figure out what's actually broken and fix it. Or instead of, I do business coaching, try, I help consultants who are stuck under 10K a month figure out why they can't break through and build a system that gets them there. And you can hear how different those sound, right? The first version describes what you do, but the second version describes what they're feeling. And the second version is what makes someone actually lean forward and say, tell me more. Maybe not in that creepy voice though. So here's the test for your what. When you describe what you do, does the other person lean forward and say, how do you do that? Or do they say, nice, and then start aggressively scanning the room for more interesting people to talk to? If it's the second one, you're describing your service, not the problem. Now, the third piece is the one most people completely miss. And honestly, this is the one that separates people who get clients consistently from people who struggle endlessly, wondering what they're doing wrong. This is the how. How do you solve the problem differently than everyone else? Because here's the thing. If you're running an agency, there are thousands of other agencies. If you're coaching, there are even more coaches. If you're consulting, same thing. Huge market, tons of competition. So when all you say is, I help businesses get more clients, you're placing yourself in a bucket with a million other people. And the client's only option at that point is to compare you on price, which is a race that you never want to be in. But when you have a methodology, a framework, a specific process that is yours, everything changes. You stop being compared because there's nothing to compare you to. And I'll tell you this from personal experience because I learned this the hard way. Over 10 years ago, when I first started out, I was calling myself a digital marketing consultant. I was telling people I help businesses with their marketing, and I was getting absolutely nowhere. But I was having a lot of conversations with business owners. And when I finally started to actually pay attention to what they were saying and what they actually wanted, I started to notice something. At that time, what they actually wanted help with wasn't general marketing. It was social media. And when I dug a little deeper, it wasn't even all of social media. It was Facebook specifically. And when I dug even deeper than that, the thing that they really wanted someone's help with was someone to run their Facebook ads. Now, it took me a lot longer than I would like to admit to finally see that. I was stubbornly hanging on to my broad positioning because it felt like narrowing down meant that I was going to be leaving money on the table. But when I finally started listening to people that were way smarter than me and took their advice, I made the shift. First from general marketing to social media, then from social media to Facebook, and then from Facebook to Facebook ads specifically. Let's slow this down though, because this is where most people miss it. When I was a digital marketing consultant, I was barely scraping by, making maybe $3,000 or $4,000 a month. But when I got crystal clear on my who, my what, and my how, and started positioning myself specifically as the person who runs Facebook ads for businesses focused on getting more clients, that same agency went to around $27,000 a month within just a few months of making that shift, then went on to generate millions from there. Same me, same skills as before. I didn't suddenly get better at marketing overnight. I just got clear. And clarity is what made people choose me over everyone else because I wasn't everyone else anymore. I was the Facebook ads guy for people who wanted more clients. And here's why it works. When you have a named framework, a specific methodology, people aren't choosing between you and another generic consultant anymore. They're choosing whether or not they want your specific process or not. It's a completely different decision. It's no longer you versus thousands of other people. It's you versus not having you. Think about it. You don't compare a Big Mac to a Whopper on a price per ounce basis. Despite both being burgers, they're different things from different places. That's what a named methodology does for your business. It makes you incomparable. So let me show you how to actually name yours right now, because this is simpler than most people make it. Step 1, write down the steps you already walk clients through. Most people have 3 to 5 steps they use pretty much every time, they just never really formalize them. Now, side note here, if you've got like 15 to 20 steps, then you're gonna wanna combine a few and get it down to somewhere between 3 and 7 steps. Step 2, pick a word that describes what your process does. Something like method or system or formula, code, blueprint, framework. Just pick one that sounds like it fits. You can always change this later. Step 3, add a word in front of it that captures either the transformation or the core idea. It sounds like the most confusing part though, but once you actually see it in action, it's actually pretty simple. So let me give you a couple examples. So if you're a financial advisor who helps clients through a 5-step retirement planning process, that might become the retirement clarity method. If, on the other hand, you're an agency that takes businesses through an audit, a build, and an optimization phase, that might be the growth engine system. If you're a coach who helps people through a specific mindset and strategy sequence, that could be the momentum blueprint. The name doesn't need to be clever. It just needs to be yours. And the moment that you name it, you own it. And the moment you own it, you stop being compared. So when someone asks how you work with clients, instead of just listing off what you do, try saying something like, I use a process called, your framework name. It works in number, phases, and then walk them through it briefly. That one sentence changes the entire conversation. Now let me show you how all 3 pieces work together on an actual page. Let's say you're a web designer who helps dentists. Your headline might be something like, stop losing patients to the practice down the street. That's your what doing its job, leading with the problem that they actually feel. Your sub-headline would be something like, we help dental practices in competitive markets fill their schedules using their existing website instead of ads. That's your who filtering the right people in. And then the body of your page walks them through your specific 3-step process, something like the patient pipeline. Well, that's your how, eliminating the comparison trap. Do these things, and now they're not comparing you to every other web designer on the internet. You're the person who solves that specific problem for that specific market using that specific method. It's very specific. Same potential client, but now instead of scanning your page and leaving in 3 seconds, they're nodding along. They're seeing themselves in it, and they're actually looking for the button to book a call. So here's a page I put together using that exact dentist example. This is High Level, which is the software I use to run basically my entire business. You've got your problem first headline up top, your who filter in the subheadline, and then the body walks them through your named framework step by step. And if you're looking at this thinking, I have no idea how to build something like that, don't worry, the templates do most of the heavy lifting. You basically just fill in your who, what, and how, and the structure is already done for you. I'll put a link in the descriptions down below the video where you can grab an extended 30-day free trial along with a bunch of free templates and trainings to get you started. And if you don't have this built out yet, that's completely fine. You can start with the simplest version possible. Write your who sentence, your what sentence, and your how sentence down on a piece of paper. Then put all 3 of those in your Instagram bio, your LinkedIn headline, your email signature, at the top of your website. Just match them across every platform so every touch point reinforces that same clarity. Just start manual, get some results, then you can build the system around it. Now this works best if you're a service-based business. Think agencies, coaching, consulting, financial advising, anything where clients are hiring you for your expertise and your thinking. If you're selling a physical product on Amazon or running an e-commerce store, clarity still matters, but it looks completely different. This framework is specifically built for people who sell their knowledge, their skills, and their ability to solve problems, which, if you're watching this video, it's probably you. Now, here's why I want to bring this all together, because there's something really important that most people miss. These 3 things, your who, your what, and your how, they're not a one-time exercise that you fill out on a worksheet and then forget about forever. Rather, these are the foundation that every single piece of your marketing is going to sit on. Your content, your ads, your emails, your sales conversations, all of it. When your foundation is clear, the tactics almost don't matter. You could post on Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube or send cold emails, and it would work just as well because the clarity is doing the heavy lifting. The platform is just the delivery mechanism. I actually had a coaching client a while back who was spending around $3,000 a month on Facebook ads and getting almost nothing from them. He came to me convinced that the ads were the problem. Well, we didn't touch the ads. Instead, we rewrote his who, what, and how, put the new messaging on the same landing page, and ran the exact same campaign. His cost per lead dropped by more than half within around 2 weeks. Same ads, same budget, same platform. The only thing that changed was the clarity underneath them. On the other hand, when the foundation is fuzzy and unclear, there's no tactic in the world that's going to save you. You can run the best ads to the best audience with the best targeting, but if your who, your what, and your how aren't all crystal clear, these ads are going to underperform every single time, and you're going to blame the tactic. But the tactic was never the problem. It's just that the foundation underneath all of this was never clear to begin with. And that's why people keep jumping strategies. They keep thinking that the method is broken, when really the clarity was never there in the first place. Now, 3 warnings here before you go out and put this into practice. Warning number 1, your how does not need to be revolutionary. It just needs to be yours. Most people think they need to invent something completely new before they can name it. You don't. You just need to name and structure the process that you're already using with clients. If you help people through a specific set of steps, name those steps. Give the process a name, and that becomes your most valuable marketing asset. And most people are sitting on one already without even realizing it. Warning number 2, clarity feels dangerous. When you get specific about your who, you feel like you're leaving money on the table. When you name a specific problem, you worry about being too narrow and not mentioning all of the other problems that people have. And when you present your how, you worry that someone's going to judge your process or think that it's not sophisticated enough. That discomfort is normal, and it's actually a signal that you're getting close to something real. Being vague and general and broad and vanilla feels safe, I get that, but it doesn't get clients. Specific, on the other hand, feels risky, but it's what actually works. Warning number 3, this is not a one-day project. Your clarity will evolve. The first version of your who, your what, and your how were not going to be perfect, and that's completely fine. The point is to start with something clear enough to test. Then you can refine it based on real conversations with real people. Here's the part that most people don't want to sit with. Getting clients really is easier than most people make it out to be. Not easy in the sit on the couch, manifest good vibes, and wait for strangers to PayPal you money kind of way, but easy in the sense that once your foundation is clear, everything you build on top starts working the way it's supposed to. Your content resonates more, your sales conversations feel natural instead of forced, and people start referring you without you having to awkwardly ask for it. And all of this, not because you discovered some fancy secret tactic that nobody else knows about, but because people can finally understand what you actually do and why it matters to them. Because that's the difference. The people who get clients consistently aren't using a different strategy than you. They just have clarity that you don't. Yet. So once you nail that, the next question then becomes, what happens when someone actually gets on a call with you? Because all of the clarity in the world doesn't matter if they show up ready to buy and you start pitching and chasing and talking them right out of the sale. Fortunately, there's one psychological trigger that you can use that flips that entire conversation, so clients close themselves. I break the whole thing down in the video that I've got linked up right here. So tap or click that now. I'll see you in there in just a second.